Alrighty, well, what a one to resume a streak on. It's gonna be an easy find the kth character in a string game. Alice and Bob are playing a game. Initially, Alice has string word A. You're given a positive integer k. Now Bob will ask Alice to perform the following operation forever. Generate a new string by changing each character in the word to its next character in the English alphabet and append it to the original word. For example, performing the operation C generates CD, and performing the operation ZB generates ZBAC. Return the value of the kth character in the word after operations have been done for word to have at least k characters. Note that the Z character can be changed to A in the operation. Okay, so return the kth character after operations at least k. Return the kth character word after the operations have been. So the word extends after a certain per time, or each time it doubles, no? Yeah, the word doubles. And when the word doubles past or has at least k characters, find the kth character within that letter. So if the kth character is like 10, then when there's at least 10 characters the first time that happens, then whatever the last character is, or the 10th character is what you return. Okay. K is 5, so it doubles like 1 to 2 to 4 to 8. When it's 8 long, then that's when K can appear. And so B becomes A, and then you append the B at the end. Generate a new string, changing each character in the word to the next character, and append the original word. So A becomes B, append, and append it to the original word. So A becomes AB, and then B becomes B because it's the original, and then appending the, no, what's going on here? AB becomes AB plus the plus the word kind of moved up by 1, so BC. So ABBC, and then ABBC becomes that plus some other stuff. Okay, so at least it's stationary with what is in front. Alright, this is supposed to be easy. I've seen easier ones. So let's try to get this in one go here. So what is the kth character going to be? So I'm going to try to get it in one go with kind of a somewhat optimal solution. I guess I could calculate how many iterations it is to get from the current thing to something that has, does it always start with one character? It always starts with A. Okay. Interesting. So the values are actually static in terms of like yeah, so it's 500 is the most it could go. So you could actually maybe create an array of the answers, what the string would be at the 500th when it's 500 long, and then just return something within that index. But let's not game the system too much, I guess. So if you always start with A, then really you only have like the first iteration is 2 to the 0. 512 is 2 to the 9th. so you only have like 9 iterations, 10 iterations, something like that you have to do. Yeah, I guess you could probably just okay, so the most straightforward way would be something like, let's treat every character as the index from 0 to 25, where 0 is A and 25 is C. So if I have an array that starts with 0 and I can iterate through it, something like for every, actually it's while the length of array is less than k. So k is 1. Do I need to less than or equal to? K is 1, then I want the first one. Array length is 0. Array length is 1, 1 is less than 1. I think this is right. Then you do, what would you do here? You could create a copy of, you could say next, or pen, maybe say extra would be the array that is the value plus 1 mod 26. So this is taking a value that is like A and making it B, so 0 becomes 1, or B becomes C, so 1 becomes 2. 25 becomes 0, when you add 25 plus 1 is 26, so 26 mod 26 is 0. And then for every value in the array currently, and then you'll append array with this extra. I don't know if append works like this. Append Python array. I guess this is a list. Does the append add a single element? Okay, append Python add list to list. Is it, I think extend? Yeah, extend. So array extend by the extra, and then return the, I think it'd be k minus 1 for the actual index, then the array. Oh no, this is an integer. So I want to convert it to a character. So the character, I think it'd be char of the value here plus the ordinal. Char. If I pass in an integer within char, it just becomes digital. It just becomes the character of that digit. So I think it's ordinal. Ordinal converts a character to its integer, kind of integer value hidden beneath it. It's the reverse of ordinal. So Python convert ordinal value to char. Char CHR. Huh, really? Integer to its, okay. I did not know that, or I don't recall using that. Char of the array array at k minus 1 plus the ordinal of a. So like this could be 0 and be 0 plus whatever a the integer value is. That gives you the correct integer value for your character. Okay. It's not necessarily efficient, but I think it works. Alright, let's see. I'm almost certain that this 0 millisecond solution will just be copying and pasting the string, the 500 long string, as a preloaded answer, and then just returning the k minus 1 index within it, the character k minus 1 index within it. How can I prove this without doing that? I mean, this thing doesn't take long, I guess. Can you calculate it directly? Like, can you formulaically determine what it should be without computing the whole string? Let's say k was a million or something. Probably, and probably that's why this is easy and this is not hard, that they're not asking you to do that. Part 1, so part higher should be something along that line. Yeah, I don't know if I want to try to solve that problem without being forced to. Although really, I've been kind of slacking. Alright, summary. This, I'd say, is use an integer array ordinal values to represent the string, since that's easier to work with, calculate on. So for example, the string AB would be something like integer 0, 1. A is 0, B is 1, Z is going to be 25. So start with A, which is 0. Have loop that continues, that will calculate next string, which is the next set of values, set of array values, until the length is long enough to have a kth character slash digit, or integer. Note that each kind of iteration of the string to the next string will have a constant prefix, or will use the same prefix characters. So A is always going to be the first character at index 0, B is always going to be the character at index 1. And then calculate within loop, calculate the extra array to be created by incrementing each value in current array by 1 mod 26 to simulate to simulate, to emulate. What is the word I'm looking for? Mod 26 to keep values in range of 0 to 25. So 25 plus 1 is going to be 0 if you do mod 26. That is basically z to a. So within the loop, calculate the extra array created by including each value in current array by 1. And adding and appending that to the current array. And then finally, after loop, return the character equivalent of the ordinal value in at kth, which is index k minus 1 character in array. So, I mean, the explanation here is much longer than code, right? You have your extra, use list comprehension to create this. So for every value in the array, the extra portion is going to be that value plus 1 mod 26. That's your extra array. Just append it to your current array. I wonder, I think maybe you can do something a little fancy by just working with the extended. No, actually, I was thinking maybe you only need to have the extended portion, but that's not true. You need to have the full thing. Although now that I think about it, like if you have an index, a certain index, let's say k is 100, right? And then you could maybe trace it to a set of operations, or so for instance, I'm thinking the first character influences the second character. At that point, the second character influences the fourth character, and then the first influences the third character. So for any kth character, it gets jumped back to a particular position character. I guess it all gets traced back to the first character, but not all other characters kind of affect each other, I guess, is what I'm thinking. So if you know what the fourth character is, it affects what the eighth character is, but the fourth character really doesn't affect the seventh character. So you might be able to figure out things without computing what the actual strings are, using that logic and using that insight in some pretty complicated logic, I assume. Maybe that'll be the hard version, or the medium version, maybe. Time complexity is going to be O of k. Since the string extends to the string is extended until the since the array is extended until there is at least k characters within it, and is doing constant work to compute each additional character. I mean, technically it might be something like, maybe O of 2 to the, I guess it'd be something of O of max of 2 to the nearest power. Maybe it's technically k is rounded up to the nearest power of 2. Because if k is like 100, you need to go up to like 128 since you're doubling the characters each time. Although there could be other things. No, a more optimal solution might not need to compute all of the string in order to find the kth character. Also note that with the way the problem is asked, it's possible to pre-compute a fixed string with all answers that would answer all possible values of k. In this case, k is less than what, 500? Less than or equal to 500. And therefore have O of 1 time using that string or that array. Alright, space complexity, this is going to be O of k, since solution computes an array that is, again, at least k long. Alright,